Something is moving toward you right now that the financial world has no category for. Not a windfall, not luck, not coincidence, but a settlement of cosmic proportions that has been building in the invisible ledger of your life for longer than you have been consciously aware. Every hour you waited when others gave up, every bill you paid through gritted teeth when you had almost nothing left, every moment you held your integrity when dishonesty would have been easier and faster. All of it was being recorded, compiled, and converted into a form of spiritual currency that is now being released into the material world on your behalf. Thousands of years of documented spiritual law across every tradition that has ever spoken about divine compensation. There is a principle so rarely activated that most teachers refuse to teach it publicly because the conditions required to trigger it are considered nearly impossible for a human soul to meet. It is the law of compounded patience, which states that when a soul endures financial pressure without abandoning its moral architecture, without choosing corruption, without collapsing into desperation-driven decisions, the universe is obligated, not invited, but obligated to release a settlement that matches the full weight of what was endured. You have met every condition. Stop for a moment and think about the last 48 hours specifically, because something happened that you may have dismissed as small, but was actually the final signal. Maybe a number crossed your path repeatedly. Maybe a thought about a situation you had almost forgotten suddenly returned with unusual clarity. A payment, a deal, a conversation, a door that closed years ago that you stopped thinking about. Maybe someone reached out unexpectedly, or a platform, a system, a relationship shifted in a way that felt like the beginning of something unlocking. That was not random. That was the settlement beginning to announce its arrival before it physically appears in your life. What you do not realize is that your financial journey has been under active observation by forces that operate above market logic, above human systems, above the visible architecture of how money moves. Darker energies watched you during your lowest financial moments, expecting you to compromise, to lie on a document, to take what wasn't yours, to make a decision that would have felt like survival, but would have permanently altered your spiritual credit score. They waited for that crack, and it never came. Simultaneously, divine intelligence was cataloging every moment of financial restraint, every honest transaction, every time you trusted the process when the process looked completely broken. There were multiple moments where your integrity was directly tested through money. The first, someone offered you a shortcut, something that existed in the gray area between honest and dishonest, and you felt the pull of it because your situation was genuinely desperate, and you still said no. The second, you were owed something, and the person or system that owed it to you failed to deliver, and you had the option to take more than what was fair in retaliation, and you chose exactness instead. The third, you gave financially when you had almost nothing, not to be seen, not to perform generosity, but because something inside, you refused to let scarcity become your identity. When a soul passes the 3 financial integrity tests in sequence, especially during a period of genuine lack, not comfort, it triggers a reclassification in the higher accounting system. You are no longer processed as an ordinary soul navigating financial reality. You are now flagged as what ancient wisdom traditions called a steward of abundance, a soul that proved it could hold wealth without being held by it, that could endure poverty without being defined by it. This classification is extraordinarily rare. It means you are considered safe to receive large volumes of financial energy without it corrupting. The mission you were sent here to carry at the moment. Your 3rd financial integrity test was completed and recorded. Something happened in the dimension that governs material outcomes. Archangels who carry the portfolios of provision and justice, the ones assigned to oversee how resources move between the spiritual and physical planes, convened. Your soul record was opened and reviewed in full. Every transaction, every sacrifice, every moment of choosing right over easy in a financial context was presented. God, the intelligence that designed the economy of the universe, reviewed what you had demonstrated across the full arc of your financial life and issued a response that is now in motion toward you. The decree that followed was not symbolic, it was structural. It stated that the financial settlement owed to your soul, which had been held in suspension pending proof of readiness, was now authorized for release. It further stated that every system, person, organization, or opportunity that carries a portion of what belongs to you would begin experiencing pressure to move, not by force, but by the natural physics of spiritual law reaching its completion point. Delays that had no logical explanation will begin resolving. Situations that seemed permanently stuck will begin shifting. The infrastructure of your financial breakthrough is not being built. It was already built, and it is now being activated. That you are not someone who simply needs money. You are an ancient steward soul, one who has walked through civilizations, where you managed resources for communities, where your decisions about wealth or scarcity affected hundreds of lives at a time. You chose to return in this era in a position of financial pressure specifically, so you could prove, one final time, that you would not compromise your nature, even when survival seemed to demand it. The financial settlement moving toward you is not a reward for being poor. It is the restoration of what an ancient soul of your classification is meant to carry while fulfilling its assignment on earth. Your mission, connected to this financial activation, is not to accumulate and retire. It is to demonstrate what responsible, spiritually aligned abundance actually looks like in a world that has been taught that wealth and integrity cannot coexist in the same life. You are meant to be visible proof that a person can receive significantly, manage wisely, give generously, and remain exactly who they were before the money arrived. Every financial decision you make after this settlement begins arriving is itself a transmission, teaching people in your sphere, without a single word, that prosperity does not require the abandonment of principle. You are the living evidence the world is currently missing. Because the decree has been issued and the settlement is now in motion, the material world around you has already begun making subtle adjustments. Situations that were costing you energy, money, or time without return are beginning to conclude. People who are holding things that belong to you, consciously or unconsciously, are beginning to feel an internal pressure they cannot name, pushing them toward resolution. Numbers will begin appearing in your financial life that surprise you. Not all at once, but in a sequence that builds. The first arrival will feel almost too small to be significant. Do not dismiss it. It is the first installment of something much larger moving through DOT as your financial reality begins to shift. Something else will happen that you did not expect. People around you will begin experiencing their own financial breakthroughs simply by being in proximity to your energy. Your conversations will spark ideas in others. Your decisions will give people permission to make moves they had been too afraid to make. Your willingness to speak honestly about both your struggle and your shift will become the exact testimony someone in your circle needs to hear to believe that their own resolution is possible. You are not just receiving a settlement. You are becoming a financial frequency that others can tune into and calibrate from. You are not the only soul whose settlement has been authorized in this window. Across the planet, thousands of people who passed the same 3 financial integrity tests in the same cosmic period are beginning to experience identical movements in their material reality. They are in different countries, different industries, different circumstances, but the pattern of their journey mirrors yours with unusual precision. When your path crosses with these souls, through a comment section, through a chance encounter, through a platform you are about to find, you will recognize them immediately. They speak about money without desperation and without greed. The network of financially activated steward souls is assembling right now. Something in this message resonated beyond entertainment. If something landed in your body as recognition rather than information, then comment 777 right now, because that is the signal between steward souls that says the settlement has been acknowledged and received. Share this with one person in your life who has been financially faithful through an impossibly difficult season and has not yet seen the return, because sometimes the settlement activates fully the moment someone else confirms what you already know is coming. And stay until the very end of this video, because what is revealed in the final moments contains the exact instruction for what to do the moment your first financial arrival appears.